When it finally dawned on me that you actually can, in fact, buy a Chinese electric car if you're in many different countries around the world and then import that car to your country for a relatively affordable fee, I started to realize that, in fact, these videos I'm making about these cars in China are far more relevant than I'd previously thought. Now, this new $9,000 electric car from China is definitely worth considering. I just got an email today from someone asking me about a car exactly like this. I'm going to send them a link to this video and say, mate, here is an option you definitely could consider. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. My name is Sam. Great to see you. I'm coming to you from Melbourne, Australia. Thank you to our Patreon supporters on the channel. Appreciate what you do. We wouldn't be here without you. And also, thank you to you for subscribing to the channel, for supporting the channel. Wonderful to have you here watching videos and being part of this new electric revolution. Now, personally, I used to be someone who loved internal combustion engine vehicles. Around 5 years ago, I realized, you know what? They actually kind of suck. When I noticed that companies like BMW, Mazda, Ford were spending billions of dollars, or at least hundreds of millions, on developing things like new engines and transmissions, which had only a very tiny, very, very marginal benefit over their previous iteration, I started to realize that the automotive industry had lost its way. It was investing enormous amounts of money for minuscule amounts of return. You see this often, right? Manufacturer says, or Volkswagen or someone says, hey, we have these new engines. Aren't they great? And then you look at the details and you realize the net improved efficiency is 1%. Seriously, hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars on engines and development for a net improved efficiency of 1%. Now imagine if all those automakers had realized 20 years ago when Tesla did, or at least 15 years ago when Tesla did, that in fact, if they had invested that money then on electric cars, they would in fact be in position to own a huge percentage of the auto market and provide vehicles which would change the world, then things would be very different for them and for us. Now, in China, this actually did happen. There's quite a lot of automakers who did predict this would happen and tried to get in early. Now, because we aren't located in China, you guys in the US, us in Australia, people in Europe, we really don't pay much attention to what's going on in China, particularly in the automotive market, because their Chinese car brands are not really represented in our countries, or at least they didn't used to be. We weren't aware what was really going on, that in fact, there was an incredible electric revolution hitting China at a pace which absolutely nobody foresaw. What do I mean? China is the world's largest auto market by far. Second place is Europe, and they're not even close. It's not a close race. And interestingly, the Chinese auto market is about to hit 30% electric this year. Many people are now predicting that by 2028, we'll be looking at 95% electric vehicle sales in China. Here's a good reason why it's happening so fast. For one, in China now, you can get an EV for basically the same price as its internal combustion engine version. Here's a perfect example of that. On the 17th of July, Dongfeng's EV, new energy brand called Dongfeng EV for short, launched the Nanobox, a small, pure electric SUV. This car comes in 3 versions. Pricing starts at $9,700 and tops out at $10,600. You can see there's only a difference of $900 between the non-premium version and the top level version. Wait time right now is 2 months, according to Dongfeng EV dealers. Now, apparently, wait times are a big problem in China, even though manufacturing of EVs has exploded across the country. What are people doing? This is what they're doing. They're going and ordering 10 different electric cars, and then whichever one comes in first, they take that and they cancel their other 9 orders. It's an interesting strategy. This car here was originally developed by Renault, called the Renault Kwid. Renault China, by the way, which is a joint venture with a Chinese electric car company. The electric version is called the Renault City KZE. And this car is made in China by Dongfeng Renault. It was exported to Europe as the Dacia Spring. Dongfeng's own brands and sub-brands make other versions too, called the Dongfeng Aeolus EX1, the Dongfeng Fengxing T1, the Dongfeng Fengwan E1, and the Venucia E30. Plus this one here, the Dongfeng Nano. They're all made in the same factory. So how big is this Nano box? Well, the Nano box is 3,732 millimeters long, 1,579 millimeters wide, 1,515 millimeters tall. It has a wheelbase of 2,423 millimeters. Now, because it's an EV, it'll probably have a very similar size internally to something like a Toyota Yaris Cross. One thing I noticed about it is it has door handles a bit like Tesla's that actually hide away, giving it better aerodynamic efficiency. Now, interior wise, I think it looks really good for this price bracket. In fact, you wouldn't consider that, an electric bicycle costs around this price. And then look at the interior. You're getting, right, a 7-inch digital screen for the driver, a 10-inch central control screen. And the digital interior technology includes functions like remote door control, remote air conditioning control. You can turn the air conditioning on if you wanted to, 2 hours away or wherever you are in any city you are. It has vehicle positioning, car search, charging management, and vehicle condition and inquiry diagnosis. One thing the Chinese are doing really well in the last year or two is massively improving their infotainment systems. Extremely competitive in China now in terms of how good these infotainment systems are. Many buyers will go elsewhere if you don't have a really good infotainment system, which includes the ability to put your own apps on that system and use those apps in the car. Now, other functions include voice recognition, Bluetooth, and safety. It's got anti-lock brakes, electronic brake force distribution, and a reversing radar system. What's the power and battery size? The Nanobox comes with a lithium ternary battery. It's not an LFP battery. It's a 27.2 kilowatt hour battery with a range of 331 kilometers on the CLTC cycle. So probably a real world range of around 250 kilometers. Fast charges, it can do that from 30% to 80% in around 30 minutes. Slow charging to 100% takes around 4 hours, they say. Now, the Nanobox is equipped with a permanent magnet synchronous motor that has a maximum power of 33 kilowatt and peak torque of 125 Newton meters. Not a lot of power, not a lot of torque, but probably just enough for the average person. As you can see, you get a lot for your money in China. And this, my friends, is a very similar vehicle to the Dacia Spring. In fact, there's a pretty good chance that this company will actually end up exporting these vehicles to countries like Australia, right-hand drive markets, New Zealand as well, South Africa, maybe even Japan, as a rebadged Dacia Spring. What brand name would it be? I'd say it'd be under the Dongfeng brand name, but who knows? That's just purely speculation. That may or may not happen. But anyway, there you go. Here's the Dacia Spring in China. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.